Just I can't believe that what started out as a conversation 2 years ago in Gary's office has gotten us to here. I want to thank everybody who helped along the way with reading, rewriting, editing, making dinners and lunches, everything that happened. But I especially want to thank two people. One is Gary, who's the boss, for believing in an idea, but also for your support and encouragement along the way. And the second one would be to my wife Jenny, for all your support, understanding and friendship, and for looking after the family when I moved into Saol a month ago. Addiction can be seen as a lifelong interaction with a person's social and emotional surroundings and within their own internal psychological space. When working with clients in group or one-to-one, we often discuss beliefs, mindsets and emotions that feed addiction. We have learned through our own training that these are the reasons why people often stay in the addictive cycle. When we speak of these topics, we often assume that the client understands the language and the process involved. We have found in Saol that this is not always the case. From working with the women who completely refused to use tool and the changes that it brought, there seemed to be something needed. A number of questions were being raised. What was the next piece? I reduced my use, but I do not know how I feel. I have all these emotions coming up and I'm not sure how to name them or why they are here. Although at a head level, recovery seems like a good choice, I'm not really feeling it. A lot of discussion around this time with people in recovery can centre around negative self-labels such as depression, anxiety, boredom, guilt and shame. Recover Me helps to answer these questions and also hopefully gives people the language of recovery. Recover Me and compassion. We'll actually put this slide, just following on from Paul. This is a definition by Dr. Paul Gilbert on compassion, but compassion can also be described in the words of Miller Williams. Have compassion for everyone you meet, even if they don't want it. What appears to be bad manners and ill temper, or cynicism, is always a sign of things no ears have heard, no eyes have seen. You do not know what wars are going on down there where the spirit meets the bone. The foundation of Recover Me is compassion. Compassion for self is a major part in recovery. Often people in recovery can be quite harsh on themselves and on their journey. When we approach our difficulties with compassion, we take back control and we learn new ways to respond skillfully to our difficulties. By bringing compassionate awareness to the present moment experience, both internal and external, can promote a greater sense of choice and freedom. Acceptance of where I'm at helps relieve pressures on participants are or may be putting on themselves in terms of shoulds, coulds and musts. It gives participants the opportunity to learn and to be understood. Acceptance is not a passive stance, it is actually about empowerment, laying a solid foundation for change. The exercises are designed to raise awareness and encourage participants to look at what they feel comfortable with and also what they don't feel comfortable with, helping to nudge people out of their comfort zone. That said, Recover Me, the programme, is person-centred and moves at the pace of our participants. Recover Me and success. Success in recovery is often something that is taken for granted. People often minimising the effort that they put in or dismiss the significant milestones along the continuum. Success in recovery can bring a new set of pressures and demands while also arousing emotions that often feel conflicting and confusing. Success can also feel like it is something to be avoided as opposed to being embraced. What may seem like a natural progression to many can be one of the most difficult steps for people trying to achieve recovery. As Marianne Williamson says, it's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. Recover Me recognises this and encourages participants to look at the successes that they've had in the past, acknowledging and embracing each one. It also looks at the possibility of further success and what they can put in place to help them embrace it rather than avoid it. Recover Me in the middle way. The word often used in recovery is balance. Finding a sense of balance is important, but in recovery it often leads to a very thin line in which a person must walk where plans can become very rigid and there are little or no room for manoeuvring. The journey becomes a very rigid set of have-tos which lead to striving for perfection. Being human does not equate to being perfect. Emotions, thoughts and behaviours in life in general do not tend to flow in a straight line. People will meet many challenges along the way. Recovery needs a flexibility that will allow room for living. Recovery Me offers participants an opportunity to look at areas of their life that they can allow room for flexibility. If you allow room for life's ups and downs, you may discover a new path for recovery. The middle way does not encourage reckless behaviour, but encourages group members to allow flexibilities within their plans. And just recovery in terms of the context, emotions in terms of the context of recovery, as Mindy spoke about earlier on, Dr. Alan Marlow. Dr. Alan Marlow was a research psychologist and a leading writer in the addiction field. States that the three top reasons for lapse or relapse are: 1 would be difficult or challenging emotional states. 2 is social pressure, including social pressures associated to substance misuse that does not involve direct peer pressure that can be attending parties or functions. And 3 is interpersonal conflict, which often arises in the family or partner relationships. All three situations can be seen that emotions are the underlying cause of difficulty for the emotion. This can also be found in the work of Bowen et al. In 2011 and other leading writers in the addiction field. I'm doing okay. So what are emotions? Emotions do not happen in isolation. There are many different factors at play at one time, including body sensations, thoughts and urges. When emotions are aroused, we often respond to them. Our response to them is normally based on past experience, without us even realising it. But it's not necessarily the past experience that causes the difficulty, but how the past experience influences us today. When addiction is or has been a part of someone's life, dealing with emotions can be difficult. The thoughts, the sensations, the urges that accompany emotions can often feel overwhelming. There can be a tendency to want to fix or avoid the difficult ones, or to cling or grasp onto the ones that we like. Recovery Me works with participants in the here and now in terms of emotions. It asks participants to bring full awareness to all the factors at play when emotion is aroused. It not only teaches new ways of describing emotions, but also offers new ways of understanding them. This understanding gives opportunity to make responses rather than react. Throughout the Recovery Me program, participants are asked to bring this awareness to their own experience by filling in emotional diary statements. Triggers, thoughts and emotions can often feel like a very automatic process. By filling in the diary, it also helps to slow this process down. The diary also includes body awareness. When we feel an emotion, it will register somewhere in the body. Learning to tune into the body is a great guide to discovering how we are doing emotionally. The body will let us know what is happening. If we feel stressed, the body may feel tense, the shoulders are tense, the chest is tense, the heart is beating faster. If I feel happy, the body feels lighter, there'll be a smile on my face, chest feels lighter and stomach feels full. By filling in this diary, participants will begin to see patterns of how their emotions connect to drug use or unhelpful behaviour and what triggered them. It also reminds people of how they coped, what they did, how they felt after their actions. We often spend most of our time of the day in thoughts and not fully connected to the full range of experience that accompany emotions. The emotions diary helps participants to become aware of what emotions they are experiencing, immediate thoughts after triggers, body sensations, behaviours, emotions following the behaviours, and also a reflection in the consequences of that behaviour. Bringing awareness to our moment-by-moment experience can offer a range of responses that may help participants to be less reactive and more thoughtful and in control. The programme is inspired by the women of Saol who are here in front of me. We found that from working with the women who came into Saol that they needed a programme that would help them understand their emotions. The programme is a collaboration between the participants and the Saol project. We listened to what the participants were saying and what they needed. Each exercise that is in the programme is a reflection of what the women have told us about recovery. Recovery Me would never have happened without them. So when we sat down 2 years ago in the bedsit, this was Gary's office responding all this time.
We moved in together.
Yeah. We were left with two options. The first one was, do we give participants a sheet with different words on it and ask them to go off and learn it? Or the second was, do we design a programme that would not only help them to improve emotional vocabulary, but also help them to understand their meaning? A programme that could help participants learn that a part of life and recovery is that we will feel emotions. We do not have to fix these, we can learn new ways of being with them. Thankfully we decided on the second. As I already said, the programme was done in collaboration with other agencies. Recover Me has been running in Saol for 2 years. We knew it was making a difference in people's lives, and we felt that it could be shared with other people who were trying to achieve recovery and other agencies. Recover Me was piloted in 4 other agencies, and the feedback was extremely positive, and we're very, very grateful for your assistance in the development of the programme. Some of the key feedback was, it is something that has been missing from the addiction recovery field. This programme is not about the to-do, rather it explores the how of recovery. Impairments was an important learning. Becoming aware of the ongoing emotions of daily life helped people to be less swamped by their big problems. In one group that was only for men, it was recorded that it allowed them a chance, for one of the first times, to openly discuss feelings and how they impact on their lives. It also gave them an opportunity to bring this learning home. Women loved the process. This programme helped them to normalise what was going on. It helped them to be more connected, to discuss and to return to a more natural relational state for women. It helped them to engage in problem solving instead of problem fixing. Just because I'm feeling a certain way doesn't mean it has to be fixed. Maybe the best solution at the moment is just to sit with it. Overall, participants found it refreshing and it increased the emotional vocabulary, allowing for more confidence. Each module contains 8 different parts in it, so which means that if the programme has 12 modules, but not all, you possibly won't get through within 12 weeks. What may happen is that some of the modules need to be divided. We put a structure on the modules or sessions to help everything stay the same. The first part is a grounding exercise, which is a short meditation. We then move to a brief check-in. We then review the emotions diaries and any other homework. Each session has specific content relating to the theme of the module. We then review the session and prepare for the next one. We then have another grounding exercise which leads to our safety plan. And then there's also the feedback and evaluation forms, which we very much appreciate if you are going to run like that. They are filled in. The programme has 12 modules. Each module is linked and builds on the previous module. Exercises are designed to build awareness and to help with understanding. Participating. Recover Me does not expect people to be drug-free, but it does ask for a level of stability from participants so that they can engage in the programme. And Recover Me does not ask connections from the past. That is the work that can be done with counselling and therapy groups, but how emotions and thoughts are influences on your recovery in the here and now. Recover Me can then be summarised, and even in the words of Gary Roderick. A programme where new beliefs are presented, tried out, and then used to create new goals for continued recovery. This occurs in a reflective environment of participation, acceptance, compassion, and education, where the facilitator is actively engaged with the learning as the participants.